All right, today we're diving into something that might just completely change how you think about chemistry. It's a new idea called the Ouroboros framework. And honestly, it's a revolutionary new map for everything from the simplest reaction to the very origin of life itself.
You remember this from school, right? A plus B, a little arrow, and you get C. It's taught to us as this simple one-way street. Reactants go in one side, products come out the other. Neat, tidy, done. But is that really the whole story? What if it's not a street at all? What if it's actually a circle?
The truth is, that old linear map just isn't cutting it anymore. It can't help us tackle the really big questions we're facing today. Things like designing materials that can heal themselves, or figuring out the mind-bogglingly complex chemistry happening inside our own bodies. Or maybe the biggest question of all, how did life even start? For all that, we need a totally new map.
So, our new map, it takes that straight line and bends it into an endless loop. This is the Ouroboros, that ancient symbol of a serpent eating its own tail. It's a powerful way to start seeing chemistry for what it really is, a dynamic, self-sustaining, incredible cycle.
So, what exactly is the Ouroboros framework? Well, it's a huge shift in perspective. It reframes all of chemistry as a recursive cycle. Every single product, every bit of so-called waste, every output from one reaction, it's simply the raw material, the input for the next one. Nothing is ever really done. It just becomes food for the next transformation. To really get this, we have to start thinking big, like really big. We have to see the universe in a beaker. This is the idea that the entire chemical world, from a lab experiment to the whole cosmos, is all operating as one single closed system. Now, this might sound kind of philosophical, but it's actually anchored in a law we all know deep down, the conservation of mass. It's a simple, unbreakable rule. The atoms you start with in your reactants, they're the exact same atoms you end with in your products. They aren't new, they've just been rearranged, endlessly recycled inside this giant closed loop. And this quote from the source material just nails it. Think about it. From the carbon cycle that keeps our planet alive to the metabolism happening in your cells right now, it's all one grand transformation where nothing is ever truly thrown away. Okay, so if the chemical universe is this grand looping play, who are the actors on the stage? This framework suggests we should stop looking at molecules as just static things and start seeing them as archetypes, characters defined by the role they play in the whole system. First step, we've got the monad. This is your classic lone wolf. Think of a helium atom. It's got that perfectly full shell of electrons, so it's super stable, totally self-contained. It just doesn't feel the need to interact with anyone. It keeps its identity, no matter what chaos is happening around it. Then you've got the total opposite, the relational part. This is the ultimate connector, the social butterfly of the chemical world. Its entire identity comes from its relationships. A perfect example is a ligand. A ligand's whole purpose for existing is to bond with a metal. Without that connection, it doesn't really have a role. It's defined by what it's attached to. And finally, there's the adaptive part. This is the system's peacekeeper, its moderator. The bicarbonate buffer system in your blood is a fantastic example. It's constantly adjusting, soaking up a little extra acid here, a little base there, just to keep your body's pH in that perfectly narrow, life-sustaining range. It's a master of balance. So we have our stage and we have our actors. But what makes the play actually move? What's the engine that drives this Ouroboros loop forward? Well, it's a powerful 1-2 punch of paradox and feedback. Turns out this loop basically operates in two different modes. First, you have stable loops. These use negative feedback to keep things in balance, kind of like a thermostat in your house, or dynamic equilibrium in chemistry. But then you have transformation of loops. These use positive feedback, like an autocatalysis, where a product actually makes its own reaction go faster. That's where you get explosive growth and totally new things being created. So what's the fuel for this entire engine? It's one powerful word: paradox. It's the creative friction, that spark you get when two opposing forces are pulling against each other. Without that constant tension, the whole system would just stop. And the single most fundamental paradox in all of chemistry is this constant tug-of-war between enthalpy and entropy. Enthalpy is the universe's desire for stability, for order, for settling into nice low-energy bounds. But entropy is its exact opposite. It's that relentless, unstoppable drive toward disorder, toward randomness, toward spreading everything out.
And this leads to a result that is just mind-bending. The universe, in its quest to create more total disorder, actually creates pockets of incredible order. It's why oil and water separate. The system can create more overall randomness by forcing oil into neat little droplets. This exact same principle is how our cell membranes form, how proteins fold themselves into perfect shapes. Life literally builds order by exporting disorder. It's incredible. So this brings us right to the edge of the future, to what's being called the chemical singularity. You see, this framework isn't just a way to understand the past, it's a map for a future where the Ouroboros, the cycle of discovery itself, begins to power itself.
And this is what it looks like in action. It's called the cognitive spiral. A human scientist comes up with a hypothesis. Then, automated robots, sometimes called computers, run the experiments 24/7. After that, an AI sifts through mountains of data, finding patterns a human could never see. And here's the magic part. The AI then generates the next, even better hypothesis and closes the loop. The whole cycle starts again, but faster and smarter every single time.
And this self-improving cycle is getting faster and faster, pushing us towards what some are calling a chemical singularity. That's the theoretical point where these AI-driven, self-driving labs actually surpass human ability, leading to an explosion of new materials, new medicines, new everything, at a speed that's almost impossible for us to even imagine right now. So, the Ouroboros framework gives us this beautiful, powerful new way to see the nested, looping nature of chemistry. But as this new engine of discovery really truly begins to drive itself, it leaves us with one massive, profound question. Where is it all going to take us?